at one
Okay.
actually, but the only set that I've played serious in is I played semi-serious for set 7 and 7.5,
Mm-hmm.
but set 8 is the one where I'm investing a lot of time in.
Okay, okay. All right, cool. Uh, have you hit like Masters or anything before, or are you trying to hit that
No,
for the first
never.
time? Okay.
Yeah, this is actually the first set where I hit diamond.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats. All
Thank
right,
you.
cool. Okay. So I assume you want to just like queue up and we'll get a game going.
Yeah, cool. Well, do I press the screen on the bottom? Share your screen?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the share your
All right,
screen. Yeah, just get that going.
got you.
All right. So for the most part, how this works is I just like watching a bit and you just play how you normally play.
Mm-hmm.
I'd prefer if you like try to talk out loud if you can.
Uh-huh.
Just like about your thought process and everything. I'll give input if I think I need to, but you could also ask questions. But for the
Cool.
most part, I just want you to play normal, and after the game, we'll go over it again.
All right, cool. That sounds great, man.
Yeah. So I'm
Are you able
recording
to
right
see
now.
my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, great, great.
All
By the
right.
way, sorry if you sorry if you end up hearing anything in the background because I'm not home. I'm at a PC cafe at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
All right
All
then.
right, cool. Yeah, all right. I'll just be like recording the screen so that we could watch it over after.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool.
All right. So is there any like specific things that you think you might be struggling with or that you're not understanding completely?
Well, I feel like there's a lot of things that I do understand. And especially like there's a few comps that I know off the back of my hand. And when I do find those units very easily, I'm able to, level up and secure like a first or a second, no problem. But I start getting conflict when I start, well, number one, if I can't find my units that I need, and
Mm-hmm.
if I'm forced to go a comp that I've never really gone before.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my biggest weakness is like variety,
Yeah.
because,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like for example, I really like recon. I like playing sure shot, but then I also start getting conflicted when I want to go sure shot and I'm trying to force it, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really finding the items or the units I need. And
Mm-hmm.
then my whole board just becomes like this mumbo jumbo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And also, I try to scout as much as I can,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not really good at like scouting and also utilizing what I'm scouting for,
Yeah.
if that
Okay.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
no, for sure. Like scouting is a skill and it has
Yeah,
like infinite skill cap, but you also need to know what you're looking at.
right.
You can't like it's impossible to just like scout every board and like memorize like every single unit or whatever. Like that's just not reasonable. You're
Right.
usually just scouting for a few things like the general comp that they're playing and then like the threats on that comp. So it's like
Mm.
do they have the items like Zephyr and Shroud or
Hmm.
Rocket Grab or
Right.
do they have like an Urgot or a Fiddlesticks that could CC your board? Stuff
Gotcha.
like that is usually what you're looking for, or do they have like a vulnerable carry that you could try to go after, especially if
Hmm.
you're playing something like Zed?
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah. Those are like a lot of the big things that you look for when you scout, uh, and you just kind of get like quick information.
Mm.
Okay.
I usually like starting with either a bow or a sword. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that seems pretty good, especially in the AD comps. But I think bow for sure
Yeah,
is very valuable, mostly because it makes into a lot of really strong items like Last Whisper, which
for
is
sure.
like very really strong if you're trying to play anything physical.
Hmm.
And it also makes into other pretty good items like Giant Slayer, which is good like late game.
Hmm.
Yeah, so bow's pretty good. Sword is not a bad like other
Yeah,
option
not
though.
at all, for sure. But I feel like it was possible to get that bow.
Yeah, it looked like it was uncontested. Starting item shouldn't change too much.
I would usually pick this laser core up, but
Hmm.
yeah, it's just I'd rather hold on to the Wukong and the Talon pair.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I think you still have the Jinx for the buy here. It's alright. Mostly just for underground potential.
Gotcha, gotcha. I didn't even see that. Right now, I'm asking myself, do I go Renegade? I don't really have the best Renegade items. Um, yeah, I think okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think Renegade or Tiny Titans was like okay.
Yeah,
I don't think Renegade's the worst thing here.
I definitely think I don't want to pick this up, but I feel like I should. Maybe just go for a lost streak.
Oh, okay. Your items aren't super great, and you don't
Yeah,
have any upgraded units, so
for sure. Usually when I get my items like this, I try to start like planning my items early on.
yeah. So what are you thinking
And
in terms of items right now?
so the reason I didn't want to sell the Jinx at first is because if I got an Anima squad opening, then I have
Hmm.
an early Shojins.
Yep.
Um, but unfortunately I didn't,
Yeah.
and I already picked the Renegade. So, and it looks like this guy's gonna contest me. So maybe I should have scouted before.
Uh, no, I think that's not too big of a problem. I think if your spot is really really good for renegades, like I
Mhm.
wouldn't say your spot was like great for it because you don't really have any slammable items or upgraded
Yeah.
units. But if your spot is like really really good, like you have Talon 2 and you have like Ionic Spark or something like that,
Hmm.
even if you are contested, it's like too good of a spot to like pass up.
True.
I'm not sure if that was necessarily the case here, but in general, I wouldn't worry too much about being contested
Gotcha.
unless your spot is like not very good.
Understood. So I haven't played Renegade in a long time.
Hmm.
Well, I played recently, but when I used to play Renegade, I would always just focus on three-starring Camille and finding a really good admin. But I'm pretty sure the wave now is like people just go full Aux Force or either full Renegade. And
Yeah, that's probably what you wanna play towards. I think if you were like high rolling Camille's or something and you had a lot of Camille's and you
Mhm.
had a really good admin, you could consider that, but I don't think I would try to reroll Camille unless I had like the carry augments for it.
Got you.
Okay. I think I would try to make 20 here if I lose, and then also now is a good time to start thinking about like the item that you want on carousel. So like what are you thinking of getting here?
Yeah, so I'm definitely aware of the 20. I just wanted to see if maybe there was a possibility I could win.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's fine, that's fine.
But
I'm just making sure.
items, I definitely either want to go. I think best thing I can go right now is Ionic Spark for possibly Talon and
Mhm.
future Viego.
Yeah. Yeah, Rod is like extremely valuable in this comp. You can use like you can basically use like as many rods as they give you pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I could either go for like maybe a Ionic or a Gunblade right now, but
Yeah.
I think there'd be more value in Ionic if I'm not mistaken.
Um, it's actually, I think it's pretty close actually, but
I see.
uh, I I think Spark might have more value immediately, but eventually you really want Gunblade.
For sure. Um, so right now I'm contemplating, since I also leveled up, should I go for a possible, should I just go for the full loss streak? Or should I level up and play like an Annie?
I think you just put. I wouldn't level here. I would just play like my strongest board. I think I'd actually play Annie over the Rel, and then Silas over the Wukong. Actually,
Gotcha.
that should probably be fine. The reason I say this is because you want to hold the Annie, but let's even
Mm-hmm.
if you say you lose here, you could
Mm-hmm.
still sell the Rel and make 30. And the reason why I'm
Gotcha.
okay with selling the Rel is because you don't really care about having the Rel in your board long term,
Yeah,
but
right, because
you
defender for
yeah,
sure.
you care more about having your Annie on your board long term. So, being able to
That
like
makes sense.
sell the Rel to make 30 keeps your econ
Mm-hmm.
up uh while also being able to hold the Annie and everything. But it looks like you would anyway.
Sweet.
Okay. So here, I'd probably scout to make sure to see like what everyone else is like kind of playing. Uh, if it looks like these boards are beatable to you, then I don't just scout the people who you could play against. And see if you can if like leveling would maybe make a difference here. Because you can decide to level here for an extra unit if you want to just maintain a
Yeah.
2 win streak, but you could also
Um,
just decide to sit.
yeah, I think I'll decide to sit because to be honest, I don't even have anything worth putting in.
Yep, I think that's okay. The closest thing might have been like a random Sivir, but yeah, you're right. You don't
Yeah.
really have very much.
Like I don't think the Sivir would have won me this fight.
Yeah.
But the other guy that's going Renegades, his admin is actually on ally death, gain AP.
Is it admin's gain AP or?
Actually, let me see that. Yeah, admins.
Okay,
So this
that
guy
shouldn't
should
be too
definitely,
bad. There's a chance that that guy is gonna pivot to like admins then,
right?
because
Because
playing that in the
that,
renegade comp doesn't really do very much.
yeah. I definitely have to. I could get rid of this Wukong. Maybe I could check my admin as well.
Hmm. I think it's the third one for sure.
Yeah, because everything else is only pertaining to admins, correct?
Yeah. Uh, Usually only pick the admin specific ones when you play towards like the admins like if you're playing Camille reroll or if you're playing like LeBlanc or like heavily around LeBlanc and Straka. Other than that, you don't really want to pick the admin specific ones.
Got you. So I feel like I'm not that great at positioning.
Yeah, I think it should be fine. I think just like frontline everything, and then make sure Talon's not like on one of the edges, because if he's on the edges, he usually gets targeted first.
Got you.
Um,
Okay.
that should be okay though. What are you thinking about your items here?
So I don't want to go Infinity Edge. I don't really like that item. So maybe I'm thinking a Hodge on a Talon, but I'm also considering do I just grief a little bit and gamble for like a jewel gauntlet.
Um,
But
I
then if I do a
think,
jewel gauntlet, I don't know what to do with this tier. So maybe should I just slap a Hodge?
yeah, I think Hodge is probably your best slam right now.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel that great because it leaves you with 2 more swords, but you
Right.
kind of want to make use of your items.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good habit to just make items even if they're suboptimal.
Got you. All right. If if we weren't doing this, I would re-roll this.
Okay. Yeah, I think you either could take salvagement or reroll, but I would also reroll.
I might go for the. I do like preparation. I this threat level is also one of my favorite, but I don't know if I'll be able to fit them.
Yeah,
So I think I'll try to gamble for the tome.
I think that's okay.
I think I'll level up. I don't even know if that's the.
Yeah. I think this is okay. I think another thing you can do is play LeBlanc over the Blitzcrank.
Or spell slinger as well,
Uh-huh.
and another admin. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. When were you popping or planning on opening the tome?
I think I don't know how the calculations for the tome works.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure you need a specific number of traits. Um,
Yeah. There is a specific number. Just to go over it quickly. If you have 6 or 7 traits, then one will be tailored. If you have 8 or 9, two will be tailored, and so on.
got you.
So right now you have 9. Right now you have 9, so two of them will be tailored here. Okay.
Okay, it's actually really bad.
Yeah, it's not very good.
I
Uh,
think I'd rather take admin or brawler.
yeah, I think admin is the best thing you can take. Okay. Actually, okay. Can I see your admin again, real quick?
Yeah.
On kill. Okay. There's a
So maybe
chance you could
four
actually fit
admin
4 admin, yeah, because you actually
for
already have
sure.
4 admin here. It doesn't really matter that much who you put it on, cause
Right, because it's a team. It's a team buff.
yep.
All right.
All
So
right, so we could actually check what the fourth admin is, and there's a chance you could play 4 admin here, especially if it's like on kill, gain AP.
yeah,
That's like very strong.
that'll make a busted Viego too. Hopefully.
Yeah, if it's on kill, gain HP and AP, like that sounds really good. I think that would be something to salvage this tome. Okay, so what are
I
you thinking about items then this time?
I want to either go for maybe a gunblade or actually I think those are my only options right now. Oh, okay. Do you
Okay.
think BT is worth?
Uh,
Or maybe I should have took that. I should have taken a tier for possibly.
no, I think Cloak is like okay. It's just BT is not a very impactful item. I think check your fourth
Yeah,
admin here first, and then we'll figure it out.
that's actually that's not the greatest, right?
Oh, um,
Just extra healing. I don't know if that's worth it. Extra mana.
uh, Probably just more health, I think.
It's actually permanent, so it's not bad.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's not that bad.
I should just put her in right now.
Yeah, sure. Uh,
Yeah, I really don't wanna. It
yeah,
doesn't feel good.
it's not very good. Hopefully, you could get some better items off of wolves.
Yeah, it's cool though. I feel like if you weren't here, I would have definitely played this very differently.
In what ways do you think?
I don't know if I would have went for admin.
Hmm.
Also, yeah, I can't say for sure, but I definitely think it would be much different than what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, probably.
Um, Question
Um,
for you.
mhm.
I would normally roll here to possibly find some 2 stars, but I don't have any pairs, so that doesn't really make sense. Or do you recommend just leveling?
I wouldn't roll here.
Got you.
I think you want to do most. Ideally, you'd like to do most of your rolling on 8 since you're looking for Viego, but
Got you.
sometimes
So,
that's not the case, or like
okay.
that's not possible. Um, it might not be possible in this case since your board is not extremely strong, and
Hmm.
also your econ's not very strong, and your HP is a little bit low.
Yeah,
So you might have to roll on 7, but ideally, if you can, if you are in the spot 2, you'd like to roll a lot of your gold on like 7 and 8.
got you.
It just depends on like the units that you're looking for. If you're looking for like 2 and 3 costs,
Mm-hmm.
then it's completely fine to roll on 6.
Right.
But in this instance, you're actually looking for Viego and then eventually a Leona to get to 6 Renegade,
Mm-hmm.
where you'd prefer to be rolling on like level 8. You actually might be able to roll on 8 this game actually.
I would level up after wolves usually.
Hmm. That's fine. Yeah. I think if you had a lot to do, if you're planning to do a roll down on like
Mm-hmm.
4-1, it's actually okay to level on 3-7 because it's the same leveling interval.
Got you.
And what that would do is it gives you a little bit more time to roll. But I don't know if you really want to roll that much right now anyway. Okay. These items are alright. Oh,
Hey,
right.
is that worth right now though? Probably.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
okay. I wouldn't roll anymore here.
Okay.
Because you might get a hero augment here, which would let you have Viego too.
True, true. All right,
What
my
do you think
question
about items
is,
here?
think I go for Jewel Gauntlet?
I think it's Gunblade for sure to
Gunblade,
start,
got you.
and then you can
Guard Breaker?
think about the other items.
I was about to do something really stupid and make another Ionic Spark.
Oh yeah, definitely don't need that one. Hmm. We'll figure out the next, or we'll see what the hero augment is first, and then also if there's a Leona on the hero augment, well, it might not
Me
be hero
taking.
augment by the way, but
Uh-huh.
it usually is here. If there's a Leona on the hero augment, then we could also take that for 6 renegade. Okay.
So I'm looking for. Do you think there's a possibility for a Viego augment here?
Yes, yes, yes. I think you'll hit. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
There.
Okay,
Perfect.
that one's perfect.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Nice. Okay.
I'm thinking right now. Do I have to keep 4 admin? Yeah, there's nothing I really want to sell. Or would
Mhm.
you make a guard breaker here on Viego?
I think that's not that bad. I think if you go like BT guard breaker, it's like
Hmm.
okay, just to finish all your items. It's not like the most ideal build ever, but it's not too bad.
Or now I'll keep the one slot open because I don't think I'll ever be 3-starring Talon, especially at level 7.
Yeah.
So maybe I definitely want to prioritize Viego, so maybe I'll take the items off him, possibly replace the Talon.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I feel like if the Ionic Spark is on Viego, it's much more viable.
Yeah. That's true.
This guy's so strong.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Wow, let's go.
All right. So, what's your plan going forward here?
I want to put in Annie for the 4th Ox Force, but I think I can do that already.
Yeah, you could do that. Okay.
My plan is hopefully I can find a.
Oh, I don't think you have to roll here.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, wait, sorry, keep going though.
I just wanted to upgrade the Talon on my bench so I could move the items already, but maybe that's not priority at the moment.
Yeah. That we could talk about more later, but it's mostly since like you're really high level, so it's
Hmm.
actually hard to find the Talon at level 7.
Yeah. So it
And
should
we
just be like
more,
a.
yeah, we
Uh-huh.
more just want to go level 8. Like we could already replace with Talon 1, which is like not ideal, but it's like still okay.
Got you.
We just need the Talon for the Renegade, and also we're just a Leonov getting the 6 Renegade buff, which is gonna be
Hmm.
huge. Okay, so what are you thinking for items on this time?
I definitely want to go possibly Giant Slayer.
I think if this Leona's open, you just take that for sure.
Got you, but definitely not.
Okay. Uh,
Or should I
I
go?
think the
Would you take?
tier is actually okay in this spot. Okay, I'll explain why after. I think the tier is okay because it lets you make a chalice, and
Mm,
that can help with your vehicle.
I see. I always underestimate Chalice.
Um, but okay. I think leveling and rolling a little bit here is okay.
Just to keep that right.
Yep, that's fine.
I guess for now I could just put in an Aegis. I don't want to roll too much.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sell these
Um,
Zacks.
okay. I think maybe if you can make chalice and put on echo.
It's too late right now, right?
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to make it before like the round like
Yeah,
actually
for
starts.
combat start.
Yeah, that's okay.
Just a little nervous right now.
Oh, all good, all good. Okay. I mean, these are good times to also just start thinking about how you wanna like progress in your board, like what do you want to take out, what do you want to put in.
Hmm.
So obviously we're still looking for the Leona so we could get onto 6 Renegade.
Yeah,
Also, this 4 admin buff is like okay, but it's not something that we need to be having on our board, so we're okay
yeah.
with like eventually dropping out of the Blitzcrank and the LeBlanc.
Come, look, Blitzking. Oh, got you. All right. Would you roll here or would you?
I think maybe sitting for 1 turn is okay, and then I'd roll again on like stage 5.
Got you.
I think you can make the Chalice though.
Almost forgot. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
So it's gonna be. So I should be prioritizing going 6 Renegade for sure.
Yeah,
Is there?
especially
Yeah.
it's like a really strong buff, but also
Otherwise, I'd be wasting my first augment.
yeah, your first like yeah, the only way you get value out of the first augment pretty much is if you go 6 Renegade.
Right. Got you.
Okay, nice. I think you killed this guy, which is nice since he has a Leona that you want. Nice.
Amazing.
Oh, you got the
So I
cutscene.
actually, yeah. So I wanted to mention actually before the game started, one of my biggest problems is, let's say even if I do very well mid game and a little after,
Hmm.
I always start falling off late game.
Okay. Yeah, we could go more into that later when I
Gotcha.
only have more time to like talk.
For sure, for sure.
But that probably just come from being unable to transition your board into something strong late game.
Hmm.
A lot of that also comes down to dropping out of the units that are low value. So
Hmm.
like usually that would be the low cost units, like the 1 and the 2 costs.
Yeah.
I'd tell Lee here probably maybe you want to keep the Fiora, I'm not sure. Um, okay. We'll do the items first. Yeah. Okay.
I don't mind double gunblade on Viego. I also like Giant Slayer. I don't think Edge of Night is that bad either,
Yeah, I
but
think Edge of Night's actually um okay because we might want it on Leona later.
got
Okay.
you. Should I
Okay.
just put it on Viego for now?
No, I
Or
think you put it on Talon for now. Because we are gonna sell this Talon. I think the final Viego item will
got
be
you.
like Ionic Spark.
Hmm. I'm selling this Blitz anyways.
Yep. Okay. Um, there's a chance we could just go level 9 here, but there's also it's also really easy to upgrade our board.
Yeah,
Uh, Okay. I think in most cases you would keep rolling here, but since we're actually still winning and we're pretty close to level 9, there's a chance that we could actually just go 9 uh on 5-5.
got you.
Yeah, so I think maybe that's okay because our like win condition is hitting Leona,
Hmm.
and it's a little bit hard to hit Leona on level 8.
for sure, unless you get lucky.
Yeah, compared to like level 9, so I think in most cases you would roll here, and if I were to roll here, let's say you were a lot lower HP, or you were losing a
Mhm.
lot of fights, and you can't go level 9, or your econ is just not as healthy.
Mhm.
I'd be rolling here to try to replace the lower value units with something of more value. So, like, what units do you think that would like be right now?
Well, definitely LeBlanc and Blitzcrank, because like you said, I definitely think four admin isn't the win condition for this game,
Hmm.
especially with my admin traits. So I'll be getting rid of LeBlanc, Blitzcrank, possibly put in maybe I could put in. Well, I'll definitely need to put in six Renegade. But if I have another slot open, maybe I could put in a frontline Jax or like this guy right here, Sejuani.
Uh-huh.
I
Okay.
don't think I can fit six Ox Force this game.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, I think you could probably just sell the Fioras. I think just to start doing a little bit, um, actually, never mind. Okay. Just get ready to level and roll next turn.
Mhm.
We're gonna be looking for one Leona, and then once we hit Leona, we want to play the Leona and play the Silas.
Right.
We also want to sell the Talon and move the Ionic Spark over to Viego.
Got you.
So hopefully we can get all of that done on this next turn. I think just like
And
save a little bit of time, you can pump your XP until 50 gold. And yeah, because there's gonna be a lot to do here, so just to get ready. Okay, if there's a Leona, we could just take it. No Leona. Um,
Renegade Emblem though.
oh, that's really good. That's really good. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's on a Viego
So
too. Also, okay. There's a
I don't
chance we could
even
play two Viegos if we hit another Viego too, and then instead that's where our items go.
got you.
Okay. All right. I think just off the rip, just sell the LeBlanc and the Blitzcrank,
Hmm.
and then level and roll for a like Leona or something. You could also buy this MF. Okay, it's fine.
Sorry, sorry.
No, don't worry. It's fine. I think sell this Talon and put in Talon 1. Okay, now put in Viego also. And okay. Put the Viego next to the Chalice. Okay, nice. And then this Renegade spat can just go on Sejuani for now. Probably going to sell that later. Or
Okay.
like someone else, but this is okay.
I definitely want to go for either like Renegade Fiddle
Hmm.
or I think would you say Renegade Urgot is pretty nice too? Wow, that
Oh
Leona.
wow. Are we dead here? Oh my god, this
I
guy's so rich. Oh no, okay. Alright, not bad,
okay.
not bad.
All right, I'm gonna have to fix something.
Okay, Leona over
Okay,
to the Silas is better.
sure. Sunny weather, I don't like that.
I think just immediately selling the Sejuani for the MF is good. And
Wow, what is this?
it's okay.
Okay, actually, oh no. I think keeping the Aegis was okay because a lot of people have magic damage.
Hmm.
Wow, I actually didn't think I would win this fight.
Nice. I think sell the Zac here for the Viego
Hmm.
also, because you could potentially go for Viego through this game.
Whoa, I didn't even see that in shop. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. All right.
I definitely want to find a unit to replace this MF.
Yeah. I mean, she's like okay, but yeah, you could probably find something else. I think the best unit here might be Urgots.
Hmm.
Just because you already have a lot of melee units, so getting like
Just getting a
some,
shooter in the back.
yeah. And then another thing you can do is if you hit a Philios, you could play it over the Any. Oh, I think
For
there's an Ornn
sure.
item.
Ooh. I think it's Gold Collector has no point.
Yeah.
Um, I'm debating between these two, but I
Can you
kind of
scout the
want.
guy in first real quick?
Yeah.
Uh,
It's gonna be hard to grab his MF.
yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's
They're
not
both
worth.
positioning. Yeah. Okay. Maybe try first is fine then.
Would you
And
put it on Viego?
yeah.
Do you think it's Mordekaiser over MF?
It could be. It might be. Oh. Oh, nice. Okay, that's not bad. All right. Right. Uh, if anything, I think it might be Mordekaiser. Uh, you probably can't play Mordekaiser unless it's like 2-star, but could be a Mordekaiser
Got you.
over like Echo also.
Hmm.
Either Echo or Meth.
Wow, bro, this is actually crazy.
Okay. Yeah. And then just keep an eye out for potential Viego 3.
Right.
Okay. Yep. Nice. Okay. And for positioning, just make sure your Urgot is the same side as their carry.
Got you.
Oh,
All right.
also, shift your Viegos over to the left and put
Like
like
this.
Alistar in the middle. Yeah. This is just to dodge the Leona. Yeah, I think this positioning is really good actually. As long as he didn't move. Okay, he didn't move. Nice. Oh, yes, Soraka 3. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
I wasn't able to beat him last round, but
Okay, actually,
yeah,
never
it's
mind. This might be unbeatable. I mean, okay. I think this game was okay though.
I'm really happy with second though.
Okay, I think there's a lot to go over. I feel like I end up talking more than I wanted to, but I kind of wanted to like make sure that you secured this game.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I also asked a lot of questions, so I don't blame you.
Okay, okay. All right. I'll share my screen now, and then we can go over the game.
I just watched from the Discord, right?
Yeah.
Got you.
You can stop sharing your screen also, and then I will go.
Um, okay, there we go.
Yep. Hold on, just pulling it up.
That one.
Okay.
Actually,
Okay. Are you seeing this well?
yes.
Okay. All right. So what's your like immediate impression like starting from the start or
Well,
like
I
the whole game?
yeah, I definitely like the tips you were giving me because, like I said, if you weren't here, I would definitely not have had two Viegos. I would have also played things very differently.
Hmm.
So I don't know if if I would have been able to get second that game, honestly.
Okay. Yeah. Uh, I think the game like I think you actually probably would have went first in like a lot of lobbies.
Hmm.
Potentially. It's just that guy. I think I'm pretty sure he had 6 admin, and the
Yeah,
admin was like,
it was
uh,
actually on ally death, gain AP.
yeah. There was also gold or something like that. It's like I think it was like it may have been like gain AP and gain gold or something like that. But like yeah, his
Yeah,
board was like cluttered with gold every single round, which is why he was able to be like level 9, Soraka 3, Leona 2, and like
yeah, for
everything he
sure.
ever wanted. Okay. Let's see. So I think the early game is okay. Okay. Um, all right. One thing I think is I'm not sure how comfortable are you with underground?
I don't play it very often.
Mhm.
I've tried it yesterday,
Yeah.
and it was actually pretty fun. I transitioned into a sure shot comp late game.
Yeah.
Um, I don't prefer to go underground though
Yeah.
because of the riskiness. I usually like taking risks, but I understand that you have to be pretty quick into the transitioning and itemizing. So, I mean, I like it for the most part, but I don't ever prioritize it.
Yeah.
But if I get it early, then for sure I'll go underground.
Yeah, okay. I think if you want to avoid the risk of it,
Hmm.
just taking the first heist is like already really high value, just like getting a lot of gold
Gotcha.
and potentially a component. You don't have to go like super deep into it. Once you get into like three and four heist range, or even sometimes two heist range, it could
Hmm.
be a little bit risky, and then sometimes the health that you're losing for playing the underground units isn't worth
Hmm.
the reward that you get in the end.
Got you.
But if you can get comfortable with it, and even like just taking the one heist and then getting rid of the underground after,
Hmm.
it is really high value, especially from 2-1. So I would always try to prioritize holding the underground units, so the
Hmm.
Kale, the Vi, the Ezreal, and the Sona on
Right.
stage one whenever you get them. Just to like leave it open. Underground after 2-2 is a little bit harder to fit. It's still like fine and possible, but
Hmm.
like getting your first underground in on 2-1 and 2-2 is a lot better than getting it in on like 2-3, 2-5, or 2-6.
Got you.
But it's still like possible. But yeah, I would just try to keep the undergrounds open at all times.
Got it. And come to think of it, actually, I was offered Tiny Titans as well.
Oh
So I
yeah.
think, yeah, so Underground must should have been pretty
Yeah, it
cool.
would have been pretty good. At that point, you only had two underground, but let's
Hmm.
say like if you had three underground and you hit Tiny Titans, then yeah, like 100%.
Got it.
Uh, so so then we get these units. Yeah, so you were keeping the Jinx open. I think that's actually completely fine. I would just sell something for this Vi, whether it be the Yasuo or these two on the right.
Right.
Okay, and then for augments. So I think Heart is actually pretty bad.
Hmm.
The only time you'd actually be okay with Heart is if you're going like vertical hearts and you had like
Right.
four or six. It's like something that you could potentially think of taking in like late game as like a final augment,
Hmm.
but it's just pretty low value on stage two because a lot of the value in like Heart Crest and Heart Crown is you get the emblem, so you get to turn someone into a heart, but just getting +1 heart doesn't really do anything for you.
Yeah.
Um, I also think the same kind of goes for Renegade.
Hmm.
So you already have two Renegade, and then getting the Camille gets you three Renegade
Hmm.
from this augment. So you'd actually just have four out of three Renegade unless
Yeah.
you drop a unit. So it's actually not extremely high value. The value out of Renegade Heart actually comes from being able to go six. But you could only
Got you.
really get to six Renegade in like the late game once you
Hmm.
get a Leona.
Right.
So for the same reason, I think Renegade Heart on 2-1 is not very valuable.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Tiny Titans is safe, but it doesn't give you that much. I think either Tiny Titans or Rolling was probably the highest value play.
Hmm. Got it.
But yeah, we ended up taking Renegade.
If it was a
It's like
rene
okay. Yeah.
if it was a Renegade emblem instead of the heart, would you consider it more worth?
Um,
Or does that not have to do with anything?
no, it does have to do with stuff, but I still don't think it would be that great. And the reason
Got you.
is, you get to renegade someone, but you still have the same problem where you kind of don't mind playing the renegade units anyway.
Got it. Got it.
So, you would end up being playing like 4 out of 3 for a lot of the game.
Mm,
And then the only buff that you really have is putting the Renegade emblem on somebody, which is like an okay buff, but there's just higher value augments compared to that.
Yeah, that makes sense
Yeah,
for
a lot
sure.
of the benefit out of Renegade is being able to get to six
Hmm.
because you don't really mind, like if you're playing Renegades, you don't really mind running the Talon, you don't mind running Viego, and then especially if you get Leona, then it's like Talon,
Mm,
Viego, Leona, you already have three, and there's not
got
really
you.
one that you really want to drop. Like obviously you don't really want to be playing like Silas or Camille that
Hmm.
much late game, but Talon, Viego, Camille, Leona are already pretty strong Renegade units. And yeah, so the value of the extra renegades is usually just to get to six.
Understood.
Yeah. If you already had a renegade spat though, and you get a second one, like getting two of them is actually really strong because then you could get to six renegade without Leona,
For sure.
and you could also get to six renegade without playing Silas on your board.
For sure. Got you.
Okay, so I think Tiny Titans or Rolling would have been okay. Probably just Tiny Titans since it's
Hmm.
kind of awkward to roll the first silver augment. Um, but yeah, as you can see here, like we're playing 4 out of 3 renegades, so it's
Hmm.
not super ideal. We make 10, which is okay.
The reason I definitely would have lost is because whenever I play Renegade, I always 3-star Camille or Talon. So
Oh,
I would have been hard stuck level 6.
yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, yeah, I wouldn't really look too hard at rerolling Camille or Talon unless one we have like a really high number of like Camille or Talons. So like I'd say even
5 or
like
6.
yeah, for like 5 or 6. Like five or
Right.
six, then you could be like, oh, okay, it's pretty easy to get this 3 star,
Got you.
which is
Got
like
you.
pretty rare. The other case is you have their carry augments. So
Got you. Okay.
Talons would be edgelord, and then Camille's is adaptive defenses.
Hmm.
So those augments make it so getting 3 star actually has like a lot of value. But like without it, if you try to get them 3 starred, one like it takes a long time and it takes a lot of econ to do. And then another
Hmm.
thing is even when you hit it, it's not actually extremely impactful compared to like the price. But like obviously again, if you have a really good setup for it, maybe have good augments for it, or you just have a lot of natural Talons or Camille's. I think Talon is a lot safer to go for than Camille. But let's say you
Mm,
have like 5 or 6 Talons and you want to try to go for it, then it could still work.
got you.
Okay. Another small thing, uh, we are running 4 out of 3 Renegade,
Right.
so we could potentially think of dropping one of these units to.
Yeah, I actually know that myself, but I don't know why I did not even catch that at all.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you don't really have anything that's that worth playing. Like, a stronger board might have been like 2 Talons instead of Silas, but even then, it's
Hmm.
like debatable. So, it's just like something to keep in mind. Like, I think your board is fine. Um, but yeah, we could do it again here. Yeah, honestly, I don't even think anything else is stronger. So, I
Yeah.
think this
I
is
I
fine.
caught it the next round, so I started playing defender.
Yeah. Okay. Um. Yeah, just being able to make 20 here and then also play defender, that's okay. Another thing you could have potentially done is played the Draven. Draven is a good unit to just put in on like stage 2 or even sometimes stage 3, just as a
Got it.
unit to get a lot of damage. He's the best early game unit to just kind of throw into any comp just
Hmm.
to deal a lot of damage. He could help you win rounds, or if you don't have a strong board, he could help you kill like 1 or 2 units, which could save you some HP.
Got it.
I think the defenders are okay, and then just making 20 is fine. Actually, in this case, I might have played like Poppy maybe over the Rel because the
Really?
Poppy is like 1 gold cheaper. Yeah, I don't
Hmm.
think it's stronger than Rel. It's just that like here to make 20, like you really wanted to make 20 here,
Ah,
but then to
makes
make
sense.
20 you had to sell the
True, true.
sell a Silas pair.
Very true.
Okay. So items. In the Viego comp, like the most important items are Ionic Spark and Gunblade.
Mm-hmm.
Spark because most of your damage is magic,
Right.
and you really want um the magic resist shred.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's like really strong on Viego. And Gunblade is really good because one, the item is a bit overtuned at the moment. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's getting nerfed on like the next patch or something. So it's really, really strong, and it really synergizes with Ox Force really well because what Gunblade does is it heals the lowest HP units,
Uh-huh.
and then that tends to be your Ox Force units that are on their last stand 1 HP.
Mm-hmm.
And having Gunblades lets them go from 1 HP to like a couple hundred or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
just gives them like extra life.
Understood.
So for sure we're just looking for, and yeah, both of those items also come from Rod.
Yeah.
So just like getting rods is really, really good here. If you have a lot of rods, you could always think potentially going for this like Renegade Viego type of build.
Mm.
Yeah, and then if you don't have rods, then it could be tough. Uh, okay, and then here, you do want to kind of get you really want if you're playing around Talon, you
Mm-hmm.
really just want like 3 Renegade and Oxforce in.
Mm-hmm.
So getting this Annie is a priority. I think I mentioned like playing Annie over like the rel so that we could sell her.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Okay. And then because we have the Annie in, I think maybe like 2 Silas's may have been a little bit stronger, but that's like just small nitpick stuff.
Got you.
Okay. And then here we had the option to potentially level, but I think it's like an okay call to not. Like if you leveled here and it doesn't make any difference and you still
Yeah.
lose the fight, then you're kind of just like losing gold for no reason. So
Right.
I think not leveling is also okay. It just depends on who you're playing and then also what unit you would even put in if you were level 5.
Got you.
Okay. Also, while we're going over this, just feel free to like ask any questions or make any
Yeah.
comments if you want.
Thanks.
Yeah. The admin's pretty okay. On kill gain HP is really strong. It's just throw out the hunt for free.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is fine. Okay. Great. I don't think we talked about it very much, but on these rounds, on
Yeah.
3-1 and on 4-1, you should be ready for potentially getting a hero augment. Are you familiar with like the different kinds of hero augments or like tailoring your board so that you kind of get the one that you are looking for?
Yeah, I am pretty familiar. But when I play Renegade,
Hmm.
I usually don't stress about it too much.
Yeah.
Like, but let's say if my board is kind of like, I don't know what the word is for English. I know what it is in Korean, but
Oh, okay.
if it's uh, if my board is kind of odd and I don't know really what I'm going, I would just change my board to like tailor the hero augment for sure.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. I
Uh,
think these traits are actually fine. It's just
mm-hmm.
something that you have to keep in mind because hero augments are actually extremely impactful in this
Mm-hmm.
game. Like having a good hero augment versus not having a good one.
Yeah.
Or like having a random hero augment versus having the one that you really want. It can be like completely game changing.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, you just have to think of what are the hero augments that you want, and then also try to get those traits in. So
Got you.
a common one is if you're playing around Samira, you want to play like sure shot Samira and something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
let's say mid game you were just carrying like Vayne or something like that, which can
Mm-hmm.
happen. Like you carry like AD items on Vayne, but late game you wanted to play Samira.
Mm-hmm.
On 4-1, instead of running Duelist, you might want to switch to Sure Shots or at least like put an ace in.
Got you.
And then the reason for that is if you just keep the Duelist and you have like Duelist and Brawlers in or something like that, the only
It'll be
hero
like
augments
a
that would show up in the 4 cost slot would be like Zed and like Sejuani when you wanted
yeah,
Samira in the end. So just
yeah,
being really conscious of that, and trying to get the hero augments that you're looking for is pretty valuable. Have you
got you.
seen the augment flowchart, or do you know what that is?
No, no, I do know what that is, but I don't understand it. I don't have that calculated in my head.
Yeah, yeah.
But I know there is something like that.
Yeah. It's like a bit more niche. Like it's definitely important, but it's not like the
Hmm.
most like fundamental thing to know. I'll just show it on screen. If you're curious, this is what it is. I could send it to you after if you want.
Got you.
But
I'll actually just take a picture with my phone right now.
okay. Just having this like on the side as something to help guide you make decisions can
Hmm.
help. The most important thing to know, like there's a lot of stuff on here, but the most important thing to know is just when are the hero augments coming. So your game started with silver, which
Hmm.
means there was a 40% chance that you'd get a hero augment.
Got you.
Um, Instead, it was a gold augment, which means on the next augment chance, there was a 78% chance of a hero augment.
Got it.
This helps you know how much you want to like tailor your board versus not.
Right.
If the augment is silver silver, you know 100% it's going to be hero.
Got you.
And then in other cases, if the augment is gold silver, you know
Hmm.
there's actually no chance that's going to be a hero. So that can change how you play 4-1. And
Got
then
it.
in the similar case, if it's prismatic, there's no chance that's going to be a hero. So you could play around that.
So maybe it's best to just like remember the absolutes.
Yeah, that is like the most important thing. You could like have it on the side, just as like a reminder.
Hmm.
But yeah, the most important thing is knowing when it's like guaranteed to be hero augment and when it's guaranteed to not be hero augment.
Got it.
Uh, yeah. So in this case, like the augments that we were like kind of looking for are like Burning Spirit, which is like Annie's, or Hextech
Hmm.
Retribution, which is the Camille support one. And we already have the traits for that anyway, so
Hmm.
there's not much to worry about here. Just in like future games to always like kind of at least like quickly remember it on 3-1 and 4-1, so
Got
you
you.
could try to play around it. Okay.
Are you gonna be watching over another one of my games?
I think it's only one game right now.
Okay, got you, got you.
Yeah. Okay, so for these augments, I think yeah, none of these are really that good. You can maybe go salvage bin and try to make some better items out of these because you kind of have
Hmm.
too many swords. You only really want one sword for like gunblade in this comp. So
Yeah.
the fact that you have two is already kind of awkward. Uh, but yeah, it's not that good. Prep is like okay, but it's a little bit awkward to play around.
Hmm.
I think tome was like completely fine. And then you could have used the tome immediately, or you could have waited. You chose to wait. So how the tome works is it remembers the traits that you played in the previous round,
Yeah.
and then I'll show you the calculation for tome. Basically, if you have 0 or 5 traits, then all of the emblems are random. If you have 6 or 7, one will be tailored and the rest random, and then so on. 8 or 9, two will be tailored. So if we go back to your
Gotcha.
tome here, okay, so we played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 traits, which means two of your emblems will be tailored on this one.
Right, got you.
Those ended up being Brawler and Admin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's unfortunate. All you really want is Renegade or Oxforce in this comp.
Hmm.
So we got a little bit unlucky, but it happens. And I think admin is the best just to see what it is. If it was if your four admin was like gain AP on kill, then
That
it
would be
actually would have
great.
been pretty good. But it was like gain max HP or something. So a little unfortunate. And then item here, we just want rod if we can. Do we get rod? Oh, we got cloak. Yeah, that's okay. Cloak could be a potential like BT or it could be a potential chalice, so I don't think it's the worst thing ever. Or maybe just a frontline item.
Mhm.
Right. Okay. All right. So in most games, especially when you're playing like Renegade, um, usually the play is on 4-1. You
Hmm.
level and you roll for like a Viego plus some upgraded units.
Hmm.
But I think our board is actually kind of decent and our HP is okay.
Hmm.
So I was okay with just sacking a few rounds and rolling on 8.
Hmm.
But most of the time you do have to roll on 7, but I think in this case it was okay to roll at 8. We talked about it before, but you're playing around a lot of 4 and 5 costs,
Hmm.
and those are really unlikely to hit on 7 unless you get lucky.
Right.
So ideally you just want to be rolling on 8.
Got you.
Okay, so we get some items here. We get dropped a rod, which is really nice. Uh, Especially after wolves, because this is like some of the most impactful stage parts of the game is
Hmm.
stage 4. Also, the only other components that you're going to be getting is going to be from this carousel and also dragon.
Right.
So a lot of the times I'd say like most of the time you just want to finish all of your items here.
Hmm.
So Gunblade is obviously good here, and then now we could choose to like finish the rest of our items, or we could maybe decide to greed for Carousel or Acel.
Hmm.
But I think in a lot of cases you do just want to finish your items, and you just want to get into a good habit of making the items that you get.
Hmm.
I think that's also something that a lot of people in Diamond struggle with is they greed for the best items too hard and they just
Hmm.
leave a lot of value on the table. So
Got it.
that could be something you can do to get an edge is just always making items and making items that cater to your board at least decently. Like
Got you.
there's no always, so it's like there's always a chance that greeting actually is correct because the value that you get from greeting is too high.
Hmm.
But in a lot of cases, just making something that is okay, something somewhere from okay to good, is better than greeting for the absolute best.
For sure. Especially if you're like in a losing position.
Yeah, for sure.
Got you.
So I think just making like Gunblade, Guardbreaker, BT is like okay here,
Hmm.
and that's a way to finish all of our items. But I think we make Gunblade, Guardbreaker, and we hold. I think that's also okay. And here we level and we roll a little bit. I think that's like okay. I think once we hit the Viego though,
Yeah.
we probably should just stop
Got you.
rolling because then we kind of hit what we want,
Hmm.
and now we could just kind of hold and finish rolling on 8. Um, yeah. Okay. Oh, oops. Hold on. I think the strongest board right now, you could probably just keep the 4 admin. And then you could also sell I think I'd also sell the Remus for the Annie and you'd have
Hmm.
like 4 Renegade 4 Oxforce board.
Got you.
And then you could probably just sit with that board until 4 or 5, which is a perfect
Hmm.
interval to get to level 8, and then we can get a little bit more rolling done there.
Got you.
Okay. And then I definitely thought you should stop rolling because you had 2 Viegos.
Hmm.
And going back to the chart, there's like an 80% chance that this next augment will be hero. So it's a
Yeah.
really high chance that you can finish this Viego 2 immediately. Right, and then it was. Um, I think from this spot, okay, it's actually kind of hard to tell.
Mhm.
You have so much like healing already, in the admin, in the Hand of Justice, and in the Gunblade. I think the
True.
carry Viego augment might have been a little bit better, but in the stats, honestly, the support one, which just gives your whole team healing,
Hmm.
actually performs a lot better. But I think the damage one would have been slightly better, but
Right.
also at the same time, like I'm
Do you
not
think
saying
it
what
would
you
have
did was
been?
wrong. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
what you did
yeah.
is completely correct because like you don't want to risk rolling here and then not hitting at all.
Yeah.
Just like something to think about. I think the other Viego augment would have been slightly better.
Because I think
But
sometimes there's a bug where if you like on the last two rolls,
mhm.
for some people, it's just completely random hero
Yeah,
augments.
there are some bugs where it's like it just gives you something random. Also, it could
Yeah.
just give you threat. So it's like you want Viego, you have the augments for Viego, and it
Hmm.
just give you like Acel or Zac when you didn't
Yeah.
want it. Or sometimes it just gives you a random forecast.
Yeah.
Uh
You're right though. The carry one would have been much better.
yeah, I think the carry one would have been better since you have like multiple sources of healing.
Yeah.
But that being said, like again, you did nothing wrong. It's just something to think about.
Got you.
Okay. And here, I think just sitting until 4 or 5, and then we could roll on 8 is best.
But you're right. I should have done the Annie. I should have put in Annie much earlier
Hmm.
over Ramus.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too big of a difference, but it would be a little bit better.
I think my
Um,
I think my thought process behind that is just I really like Ramus
oh, you should really like
and
Rammus. Yeah,
yeah
he's
and
good.
yeah so
Okay. Also, you know about like the leveling intervals, right?
I'm not too aware. I know that there are
Hmm.
intervals where it's best to level,
Yeah.
but I don't I have no clue where those are.
Okay. We could just go over it quickly then. 1 second. So just to start, obviously you could only buy XP in chunks of 4.
Yeah.
And because of that, sometimes there are going to be times where you buy XP in chunks of 4, and there's going to be XP bleeding over to the next level.
Yeah.
So, for example, last turn we are 2 out of 56. 2 out
Hmm.
of 56 means we need 54 XP to level, but 54 is not an interval of 4.
Hmm.
So, what would end up actually happening is we spend 56 gold. We spent 56 gold, and we're 2 XP over level 8. And
Got
sorry. And when that happens, we're like technically not being like completely efficient because
hmm
we could have been doing that last turn and been that higher level for an extra turn. It's more impactful
got
on
you.
like these combat rounds. So here, I think a better example is like here. We'll say like 3-3, or actually we'll go like here. So let's say that for some reason we wanted to level to 7 here.
Mhm.
We're 30 XP off, but 30 isn't an interval of 4, so it would actually cost us 32 gold to level here.
Got you.
This isn't a perfect interval because we'll have 2 XP to bleed that bleeds over, and
Hmm.
it's not as efficient as if we just leveled on 3-5. Because if we leveled on 3-5, we would be we're 4 out of 36 here, and it would cost 32 gold to level, and it leaves us exactly at 0 on the next turn, which means we're getting the most out of the gold that we spent. So,
Got it.
in general, or the perfect intervals to level are the twos, the 2, the 5, and the 7s of rounds. But just as like something general to keep in mind of when people usually level is you're usually hold on. Oh, actually. Okay. Usually go level 4 on 2-1,
Hmm.
5 on 2-5. This would be after the carousel. 6 on 3-2,
Hmm.
which is what we did on this game. 7 on 4-1. 4-1. Okay, this is the exception. 4-1 is not a perfect interval. The actual
Hmm.
perfect one would be 3-7. But why people do it on 4-1 is because you don't have to level to play against wolves. So just getting
Got
the
you.
extra econ for one
Hmm.
extra turn is what people usually do. So I could just like put like that in brackets. 8 on either 4-5 or 5-1, and then it's the same thing. Like it would be perfect interval to do on
Right.
4-7 actually, and then 9 whenever you can. So This is usually how this is usually how it goes. But then also there's like there are times where you break these rules. So
Right.
in your stage two, you actually didn't go level to five at
Hmm.
all because you didn't think it was worth it, and you were also on like a loss streak. That's completely fine. Sometimes you might go level seven on 3-5 here, like we talked about
Hmm.
here. Like you can go level seven, it's just not worth it in your current spot, but it might be in a
Right.
different game. And sometimes you might go level 8 on like 4-2 instead of 4-5, or you might go level 8 like really late if you're playing a different
Got you.
game. It's just a good like guideline of when you usually level, but isn't like set in stone on when you like have to level or anything.
So it's just best to like keep this foundation of information and then just
Yeah.
adapt with your
Yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah, perfect. Yeah. Like that's
Okay.
generally what you do, but then you adapt depending on your game state.
Got you.
Okay. Going back to the live. Okay. Yeah. What are your thoughts on rolling here? I think we rolled a few times on here.
Hmm. Man, I love the roll button. Honestly, I sometimes I feel like I roll way too much
hmm
to try to stabilize, and I get a little paranoid.
hmm
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I definitely feel like I have to fix that.
Yeah. I think a good thing that can help you do that, because it's hard to just say like, oh, I roll too much or oh, don't roll enough, because
Yeah.
those are both very common problems, but they're also very, very generic.
Hmm.
You just need to know like why you're rolling, and like what are the reasons to roll. So like a lot of the reasons to roll are to spike your board, and it's usually when it's like easy to spike your board. So like let's say you have a lot of pairs, you might
Hmm.
want to roll so that you can easily upgrade your board. Which is why if you don't have a lot of pairs, you might not want to roll because it would just take a lot longer to get upgrades.
Got you.
You also want to know generically what units you're actually looking for, which can help you make a decision on whether you're rolling or not. So, in this case, we already have Viego 2, so we could maybe get like Annie 2, we could maybe get like Blitzcrank 2, we maybe could get like LeBlanc 2, but none of these are very meaningful upgrades.
Right.
What we're actually kind of looking for at this point is the Leona for 6 Renegade, and then maybe some like better filler units, like upgraded filler units, like maybe the Zac 2 or something like that.
Hmm.
But then when you think about it like that, you could kind of deduce that rolling right now is not very worth it. One, because we're level 7, so our odds of hitting like a Leona is not that great.
Right.
And the upgrades that we can hit, so the Blitzcrank, the Annie, the LeBlanc, are not very meaningful or worth our gold.
Mm.
So for those reasons, we can think like maybe we can just go to 8 and then roll on 8 for the higher value units that we can put in instead of rolling like right now.
Got you.
Yeah, just getting a good idea of like before you start rolling or before you do a roll down, just like quickly going over like, okay, what am I actually looking for?
Right.
Can help you and have keep your mind clear for when you actually start rolling, so you're not just like picking up random units or
Yeah.
missing the ones that you actually wanted. Just like quickly going over before you do before you start rolling of what am I actually looking for here.
Got you. Yeah, I actually have a habit of like let's say I'm over 50 gold.
hmm
I have a big habit of just rolling to 50 no
Oh,
matter
just like
what.
spending your gold to like get down to 50 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
Uh,
like in my subconscious like, "Oh, as long as I don't go under 50, I'm okay."
yeah. Okay.
But I don't think that's the best thing, right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, yeah. I mean, it makes sense, but it's like if you wait one turn, you can spend the same amount of gold, except at level 8 instead of level 7, which will give you better shop odds.
Got that.
So yeah. So for items here, um, I think we're obviously trying to get the Leona. I think the spatula is okay because both Renegade and Oxforce Spat are pretty decent.
Mhm.
We don't get either. So I think I push you towards the tier just so because we didn't make BT, so we're just like
Mhm.
holding these components open. and Chalice is not a bad way to use Cloaks and Tears in this comp
Yeah,
because it
that's one
lets you
thing I actually
buff your AP units.
yeah, that's one thing I actually would not have done if it weren't for you because I never prioritized Chalice or Zeke's or like AD comps.
Oh,
If
I
I
don't
have
think
to.
Zeke's is I the reason why I think Chalice is pretty good is because
Hmm.
your units kind of walk around where they want anyway. So
Hmm.
their starting position doesn't really matter. Let's say you're playing like Soraka. I
Yeah.
wouldn't actually prioritize Chalice at all because what that would end up doing is it would force you to clump your backline units together, and there's a
Hmm.
lot of comps that really punish that. And the same thing goes for
Got you.
Zeke's. Like the value that you get out of the Zeeks and out of the
Mhm.
Chalice for backline units that are kind of stuck in place is usually not worth the risk of being like susceptible to AoE, which there's a lot of in the set with like Fiddlesticks, Urgots,
Got
Viego
you.
even.
Yeah, I
Yes,
actually
stuff like
remember
that.
you playing a Renegade Viego game a couple days ago on your stream,
Yeah.
and I remember you also had I think it was like two chalices in the middle
Yeah,
of your
yeah,
Viegos.
probably. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So it's a pretty good item. I wouldn't say it's like the highest priority item. It's just like something that you can make if you have extra cloaks and
Like in this
tiers.
scenario, right? Right.
Yeah.
Got you.
Okay. So now we're just looking for upgrades. We're looking for good filler units. And we're also looking for Leona.
Mhm.
So you said you struggle in the late game.
Yeah.
I think a big struggle that people have is playing a lot of units that are low value even into the late game. So here we could actually just look at your profile really quickly. Let's see if I can find maybe a few examples.
Mhm.
Yeah, so like here, just an example. I'm not sure. Okay, did you have? Okay, you had four admin in. Um, I'm not sure what your four admin was, but just in
Mhm.
general, like having Blitzcrank past stage 3 is usually pretty bad
Mhm.
because he just doesn't offer you enough to justify playing on your board. Like if your four admin is so good that it's worth it, then it can be okay. But in like most cases, like just having Blitzcrank on your board is just not worth it because he's basically just like a tanky target dummy. Like he doesn't actually do anything besides that.
Mhm.
Um Similarly, like even this Gangplank, like this is your hero augment, but once you get to like stage 4 and stage 5, getting the extra gold per kill isn't always worth being forced to run this Gangplank on your board. Like in this spot you already have like Leona 2 and everything, you probably have you have mech set 2. Just dropping this GP and this Yasuo, who are not doing
Mhm.
very much, for like Zach and someone else or something like that. More frontline, or maybe you don't have anti-heal. I think even just like Zach Asol in this exact comp would already be a huge upgrade over having this Gangplank Yasuo on the board.
Got you. Yeah, I
Um,
see all of these like sixth, seventh, eighth places. I see that exactly what you're saying. Like
yeah,
all the weak units.
yeah, exactly. It seems like you really like playing admin. Um, Admin's hard. You have to kind of know what are the broken admins and what are the admins
Yeah.
that you really like you can justify playing the whole game. It's not bad to play admin and just like keep them in for stage like 2 and 3, maybe a bit of stage 4.
Mhm.
But only when the admin is like so good do you like kind of are you kind of able to justify like keeping the admin for the whole game. But
So a couple of these admin games, I was actually quite confused
mhm,
because I do know what the really busted ones are.
yeah.
And my favorite one is on ally death gain AP
Yeah,
because then I love
for
going
sure.
like Soraka or LeBlanc carry.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did for like three of these games because I got the admin consecutively with these games,
Yeah.
but I still got below fourth place and I was actually quite confused.
Yeah. I think it's hard to tell immediately
Right.
what the reason is. Um, I think just something quickly, running Zoe in this
Hmm.
comp is actually really good. The reason is the Hackerim actually counts as an ally dying for some reason.
Got you. Got you.
So it also gives you hacker for your LeBlanc if you're deciding to go LeBlanc carry.
Yeah.
So that immediately, like if it's on ally death gain AP, you get plus 20 AP just from the start. And then it's
Right.
also pretty easy to just slot in like two Prankster, which
Mm-hmm.
is a pretty decently value trait. Um, yeah, that's just something that you can play around also.
Got you.
Yeah, so I think that's something that you can try to think about a little bit more late game is once you get to like these late game boards, you're really just thinking, who am I taking out and who am I putting in? So like right off the
Mm,
bat, I would just be thinking like, okay, this the 4 admin isn't very good. I want these this Blitzcrank and LeBlanc gone. And then
got
if I
you.
can, I would probably want this Annie gone. She is giving me 4 Oxforce though, but maybe there's something better to put in. And
Mhm.
even if we do keep Annie, we decide to keep Annie for 4 Oxforce, we could drop these two, and now we have 5 out of 8, so we have 3 open slots.
Mhm.
Those 3 open slots can just be used for better traits or high value units.
Got it.
So, better traits could be like Aegis, or it could be maybe more Ox Force, probably not in this case though, or like
Mhm.
6 Renegade. That's usually what
Got it.
you're kind of thinking when adding in more units is like, do you want to just put in a high value unit, or do you want to put in uh do you want to go more into a trait, or do
Right.
you want to like find units that could do both?
Got you.
So like the high value units are like almost always threats, especially upgraded version. So I don't mind
Mhm.
holding these Zacs here. Just getting a Zac 2 on your board is really, really strong. The Sedge is also good, even if you don't have Brawler in. Like let's say you drop this Blitzcrank, it's still okay to
Mhm.
play Sedge 2 without any traits, just because she stuns the whole board. Threats are really good. Units like Sedge is really good. This Echo is also strong while also giving you Aegis. So
Mhm.
all that is completely fine. And then obviously, if we hit the Leona, then that helps us go into the more trait category, and we can
Mhm.
try to get into 6 Renegade. So I think that's generally what we're looking for. And usually we want to do this on level 8. Like in this game, we actually push to level 9 before kind of replacing our like low value units. But in most cases, you want to start filtering out your board, get a really strong board on level 8, and then after that, then you would go to level 9.
Got it.
Yeah. It's like the difference between like slow 9 and like fast 9 and stuff. Like fast 9 is like where you don't really roll that much on 8 and you kind of just sit with like a weaker board so that you could roll your gold at 9, but it's
Mhm.
just a lot less efficient.
Got you.
Okay. Okay. All right. And then at this point our board's like pretty good. I think we potentially could have sold the Talon to move the Spark over to Viego earlier, but the
Mhm.
problem is you didn't have anyone to hold like the Hodge, so
Mhm.
I didn't mind it.
Got you.
Okay, here. Um I think all of these options are actually okay.
Mhm.
Like Giant Slayer is like kind of decent. Gunblade is always good, like even more Gunblades are fine, and then Edge of Night is fine. I just thought Edge of Night would be okay just because I was thinking of Leona.
Right.
Edge of Night Leona is actually pretty strong because if she's getting targeted while she's ulting, she can like cleanse the targets.
Yeah.
Uh Looking back, it actually might have potentially been like Giant Slayer or Gunblade, but I think all of these options are actually okay. Okay. We're doing pretty well. And then yeah, it's at this point where you win, where I'm thinking you could probably just go to level 8 pretty easily.
Mhm.
Or level 9. And then going back to the leveling interval things, uh like you wouldn't normally level on 5-3 because if you level on 5-5, you just save a lot more gold.
Right.
Just like put into perspective, if you were to level on 5-3, you spend 4 extra gold to level compared to waiting 1 turn.
Hmm.
And then you also lose 5 gold of interest. So the difference between leveling on 5-3 versus leveling on 5-5 is actually 9 gold.
Wow. Got
Like
you.
sometimes it's actually worth it because it's like let's say you're 1 HP, you have no
Hmm.
choice but to be as strong as you possibly can right now.
Right.
But it's like you have to like kind of weigh the like risk versus reward. Like is not leveling for 1 turn worth the 9 gold? And a lot of times it usually is, but then sometimes it's not.
Got it.
Okay. Nice. And now I'm just kind of I'm like talking a lot here because you are pretty low and I expect you to lose this round, which means you might turn into like 1 life here. So like I really want to get everything like clear and out of the way so that you can make this really fast transition. Because I think a lot of people, especially in this spot, it's really easy to like go into a transition but not completely finish it or not have the board that you completely want. Like maybe some traits are missing. You might play like 5 out of 6 Renegade, or
Hmm.
the wrong units are not in, or you only rolled to 20 instead of rolling to 0.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was just trying to make sure that you have everything ready. And in your games, you should also be doing this right before big transitions or big rolldowns. Is just trying to do like the turn in your head and figure out everything that you have to do before you actually have to do it so that when it does come time to do it, you are a lot quicker and more efficient with it.
Right. Got it.
Yeah. So like in this turn in particular, right, what I would be thinking is right after this turn is over and we pick carousel and we're back, I'd
Hmm.
immediately be thinking, okay, selling Talon, selling Blitzcrank, selling LeBlanc. That leaves 4 open slots. We want to get Silas in, we want to get Leona in. That would be like 2 slots, and then we have like 2 open slots for anything. You end up getting like Viego 2. Viego 2 is good. I think a random MF 2 is good. Going back to the other thing, like random Sejuani 2 is good, random Zac 2 is good, or God and Fiddle, all good. And just like kind of filtering that out, we obviously can't play everything, but just like
Yeah.
thinking in your head, like these are the units that I'm looking for, so that when you get like those 30 seconds to actually do your turn, you're a lot more snappy with it. Instead of if you didn't think about it, then now you're leveling and you're rolling and you're rolling and you hit a bunch of units. Let's say you hit
Yeah.
like Zed, Talia, Fiddlesticks, you might be thinking for a second, like, oh, maybe I can play Zed, maybe I can play Talia or whatever. But if you think
Yeah.
about it beforehand, then you would immediately think, like, oh, like, there's no way I would pick up those units because they're not like what I'm looking for.
Mhm.
Doing stuff like that just like makes these transitions a lot cleaner and a lot less likely that you play a board that you're not actually trying to do.
Understood.
Okay, so obviously the Renegade spat makes it a lot easier. We
On the
can
Viego too.
Yeah, pretty good. Okay. I think holding the MFs are actually okay. She's like a pretty
Got
good
you.
renegade holder. She could like clean up a lot of fights at the end, even without like extra items.
Hmm.
Okay. Then we get the Viego. This is also a good secondary carry. Okay. Yeah. I mean this is fine. If we were playing if we didn't have the spat, then we'd have to really try to push for hitting a Leona, but we have the
Yeah.
spat, so it's okay. And yeah, this guy's bored. Like, here, hold on. Let me just see this really quickly. Yeah, I think it's on ally death gain gold, and then he also has mech, so like allies immediately die, and he just has 100 gold every turn.
This is insane.
Yeah, he has an insane setup. It's just the fact that he didn't die. It's like if he doesn't die before he's able to scale, then he just wins the game.
Yeah.
Oh, and then he just okay. You're actually lucky because he actually hits Straka 3 the turn after you play.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. That's okay. 1 HP in a dream, and we pull it out. So yeah, we get the Viego here. I mean, you kind of want these Mordekaisers, but it's like you can't really afford them either.
Yeah.
Mordekaiser would be either good for Echo, Misfortune, or potentially Annie. Um, but yeah, it might have just been over MF. But the thing is, you'd have to like lock the shop and everything.
Right.
Uh, yeah. Um, but yeah. Also, this Ornn item. I think. Okay, I'm not sure why, but in most cases, like I'm not sure why, but like these guys are already both positioned really well for a hook. Even though I don't even know if there was a hook guy in your lobby. Maybe there was.
Yeah, so I actually really appreciated when you told me to scout them first, because in
Yeah.
my head I just immediately thought, no one would. I would just be able to grab their carries. But as soon as I scouted them, I noticed that
Hmm.
that's actually impossible.
Yeah. Uh,
So,
I'm gonna guess. I actually don't remember, but I'm gonna guess there was like a rocket grab player in the lobby earlier.
mhm,
Because like most people don't like automatically position for Blitzcrank when like there's no Blitzcrank, so
right.
I'm gonna assume there was, but yeah, the fact that they're like already prepared to position for that
Or
just
do you
makes it
think
so
it's
that it probably wasn't good to play. Yeah.
do you think it's possible that they knew that everyone would be getting an Ornn item?
Yeah, I mean that is completely possible, but I'm not sure. They'd have to be like super conscious about it.
Got you, got you.
It's like entirely possible. But like even if they did know that you can get an Orden item, they
Hmm.
could just scout you to make sure that you got one, and then
Right, got
also
you.
they could just like position later instead of positioning so early. Something that you can do that I didn't expect of it right now because there's a lot going on
Mhm.
is you can play like the mind game of whether you have the rocket fist or not. And the way you do this is you don't pop the anvil until like the turn is about to start, or not the turn, the
Mhm.
fight. And then what this does is they can't scout you to see what item you have because you haven't picked yet. Um,
Got you.
so what this can do is right when the fight starts, they don't know what item you have. You could pick the fist, you
Hmm.
grab it, and then you just place it on a unit, and you like surprise them with that, and that could actually win you a lot of rounds. And then
Got you.
alternatively, even if you don't have like, let's say this is not even an option.
Hmm.
Alternatively, if you pop it late and you don't pick anything, and they scout your board and they don't know what item you have, then in theory you can have the rocket fist. So they have to play around that, which can make their positioning a little bit worse.
Got you.
That's like a lot more like deep and like niche and advanced and everything, but it's just like something to think about.
Got you. Got you. Regardless, though, it would have been impossible to grab anyone here, right?
Yeah, probably not. It looks like
Yeah.
they're. Oh, actually, oh, it looks like he actually moved his positioning, so it potentially could have been able to be fine. I guess
True,
there
true.
was
Got
someone with the rocket fist, but maybe they died. So this
Mhm.
person was maybe thinking like, oh, I could position normally again. But
Got
yeah,
it.
he actually could have killed the MF on this one. Uh, Also, I think the Triforce on the other Viego is better here.
Got
It's
it.
more ideal on Aphelios, but the fact that you have
Mhm.
two items on Viego too, would just like scale better.
Got you.
Yeah, just like stacking all the items in the same place. And then I think the final board that you actually end up with is like pretty much as like it's like close to as good as you could get. You have the Urgot on the correct side of the Soraka, but yeah, this guy. This is, ended up being like the most important matchup, and they have like anti-grab people on the side, so
Sure.
having Rocket Fist here wouldn't have even done anything.
I think this was just an impossible first.
Yeah, no, yeah. Once this guy doesn't die, yeah, you're just not gonna win this lobby.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Um, but yeah, I think that's a pretty good game to go over. Um, the most important things to recap is I think you do want to be going for like these augments that give you immediate value,
Yeah,
and Renegade Heart, especially on stage 2 and stage 3, don't give you that immediate value. So I would kind of stray away from that.
for sure.
I think this was all fine. And then also just the hero augment thing.
Hmm.
Also having good intentions when rolling. So knowing what you're rolling for and if what you're rolling for is like worth it at this time.
Hmm.
Uh, hero augments, so be ready for hero augments on 3-1 and 4-1. Be ready to try to play around the ones that you're looking for. And then finally, before you go into like these big transitions, just prepping ahead of time and clearing your mind so that you can make these transitions a lot cleaner and a lot quicker and not be like wasting time.
Understood.
Yeah. Okay. And then also the leveling interval stuff. So, leveling on like perfect interval. You could always just like hover over this just to make
Hmm.
sure, but just knowing in general when you should be leveling and not.
Gotcha, man.
Yep. And I think that's mostly it. Do you have any other like points or questions?
No, not at the moment. I feel like I learned a lot actually.
All
Um,
right, nice.
but if it's okay with you, I'd like to schedule like maybe another day we could do one more game
Oh yeah,
because
for sure.
I definitely feel like you helped me out a lot during my gameplay, like not the review, the actual gameplay.
Mhm.
Um, so maybe for the next session, I could just play a game where you literally don't tell me anything,
Yeah.
and I also won't ask any questions. I felt like I asked too many questions.
Yeah, no, it's
Um,
okay.
s-
Yeah. If that's the case, if you have a way to record your games, it could
mhm,
make it easier just so that we can go jump straight into it.
got you.
Um, if you could find a way to record your games like through like OBS
Mhm,
or some kind of recording software, then that could just like make the process a lot quicker, so we could just jump right into it
makes
at the
sense. Makes
start.
sense. Mhm.
But yeah, you could just DM me if you have any questions, and then you could also DM me. We can try to schedule the next one.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Okay, cool.
All right. Thank you so much,
All
Mr.
right, no
Yogurt.
problem. Yeah. All right, I'll see you
All
next
right.
time. Later.
Have a great day, bro.
Yeah, you too.